Let's do Titanic facts. Titanic, the iconic vessel that came to a very tragic. But how much do you know about the world famous ship? It's time to find out in our 20 top Titanic facts. Top 1. Titanic was built by a company called White Star Lines. She was completed with ready for the ocean on the 31st of March 1912 after 3 years in construction in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And she was no ordinary ship. The Titanic was the most impressive and luxurious ship of her time. She was the biggest too, measuring 28 meters wide, 53 meters tall, and 269 meters long. There's about the length of 3 football fields. On 10th of April 1912, Titanic set out to their maiden voyage, first big journey to taking people from Southampton, England to New York, USA, en route she called by Cherbourg in France and Queenstown in Ireland to pick up more passengers. Boats are traditionally referred to as she. Historians think this may be the results of links in our language to ancient English, or perhaps it dates back to the idea of goddess protecting ships on dangerous journeys. Titanic full title was RMS Titanic. Any ideas that the RMS means? It stands for Royal Mail Steamer. As well as passenger, the ship carried nearly 3,500,000 sacks of letter, packages, and documents. There were over 2,200,000 people on board Titanic, 900 of which were crew members. The passengers include holiday makers, businessmen, and people hoping to start a new life in America. Life on board Titanic depends on who you were and how much money you had. First class, the weatherless people traveled in the first class located at the top of the ship, and boy did they travel in style. They slept in private spacious suites and enjoyed delicious foods and elaborate dining rooms. They had access to lots of facilities like cafes, a swimming pool, squash courts, barber shops, and reading and writing rooms. Second class, not too shabby either. Second class accommodation consisted of cabins with 2 or 4 beds and a sofa storage facilities, a sink, a mirror. Second class passengers could also enjoy an outdoor promenade, relaxation room, library, and dining room. The third class facilities were much more basic, but they were still far better than those on the other boats at the time located at the bottom of the ship. Cabins slept up to 10 people, each had a sink and a mirror. There were also a dining room where food was served 3 times a day, but the big downside All 700 third-class passengers had to share 2 bathtubs. Oh. For days, the Titanic made good progress across the Atlantic, powered by 3 coal-burning engines, but it was not an easy job to keep her moving. Each day, the ship, 175 firemen, shoveled 600 tonnes of coal into the furnace that weighed of 100 elephants. 8 Titanics were also known as the Ship of Dreams, and White Star Line claimed she was the safest ship of all time. To make sure she wouldn't sink, her hull was made up of 16 separate sections. If 2 or even 3 sections were damaged and water got in the ship, would still have time to sail safety, so good, right, wrong. Just before midnight, one day, 5 in the freezing cold North Atlantic Ocean, an iceberg loomed out of the darkness, too big to quickly change directions. Titanic scraped alongside of the ice, tearing holes in at least 4 sections of the hull. Oh no! The captain of the Titanic, Edward John Smith, and his crew knew that the collision meant disaster. Titanic would sink in just few hours. Disaster signals were sent out to nearby ships, and passengers were ordered to get to the lifeboat fast.